Hillary Clinton has consistently maintained a strong national lead thus far in the presidential race. However, as of late, Bernie Sanders is definitely catching up to her very quickly. In fact, Bernie Sanders is closing the gap so fast that Hillary's national lead is now slipping faster than it did in 2008. So you see from this image on the screen that with about 20 days until Iowa, her national lead is beginning to fall off a cliff. Now, in 2008, she went into Iowa with a significant national lead over Obama and Edwards, yet that didn't help her very much as she finished in third place. So now, looking at, 2008 and 2016, we can see that Bernie Sanders has a really great shot of winning Iowa. Now, when it comes to New Hampshire, she's actually doing much worse than she did in 2008. So her lead fell off a cliff in New Hampshire in 2008, but she ended up winning that state after all, though. So, even though she's doing worse this time than she did in 2008, she could still pull off a last-minute mobilization campaign and still pull it off. So, we can't discount her yet, but it's nice to know that Bernie Sanders is performing better than Obama did in 2008. So now when it comes to Iowa, she's actually doing a bit better than she did in 2008. She's maintained a pretty consistent lead in Iowa, but now polls are starting to show that actually her and Bernie are neck and neck, and some polls are showing that Bernie Sanders is ahead of her, I believe by 5 points. So the takeaway is that she's not inevitable. Bernie is still outperforming Obama in 2008, and there isn't even a third candidate. So, I think that he has a really great shot of winning. Now, the thing is that we don't want to get too comfortable, right? The more that Bernie Sanders rises in the polls, the harder we have to work, because we know that the more that Bernie Sanders rises in the polls, the Clinton campaign's watching, and they're going to work that much harder too. So we need to double our work and work even twice as hard. We've got to donate. We've got to phone bank for Bernie. We've got to talk to people and actually get them to change their minds. If you're in Iowa and New Hampshire, you got to knock on some doors if you really want him to win, because this is a grassroots campaign. The establishment is against us, so we've got to pull out all the stops necessary. But overall, I wanted to share this with you because, this inevitability myth is finally starting to disappear, because it's always been a myth. I always knew it was a myth. My viewers knew it was always a myth. And it's just so disingenuous to say that Clinton was inevitable, because we know that a ton of things can happen. We knew that Bernie Sanders had the grassroots support. Now we see he has the support of more women than Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire. He has the millennials on lock. People under 35 overwhelmingly support Bernie Sanders instead of Hillary Clinton. So she's not inevitable, but the race isn't over. So Bernie Sanders supporters, we got to ramp it up even more now.